Hi teacher, my name is Maria Fernanda Forero Valverde and this is my project presentation. Voice of Play Empowerment Indigenous Students to Gamify English Learning. This project arises from the need to learn English in a different way. The original question is how can gamification improve learning and vocabulary retention among 6th grade students at Los Palomos School, part of the Sicuani and Piapoco indigenous communities? So, objectives, general objectives, analyze how gamification can improve the teaching and learning of English vocabulary among 6th grade Sicuani and Piapoco and students of Los Palomos School. Specific objectives identify the main challenges faced in acquiring and retaining English vocabulary in a rural indigenous context. Implementing gamification strategies that improve motivation and activity participation in English lessons. Evaluate the impact of the gamification and vocabulary rotation and student confidence compared to traditional methods. Propose cultural relevance pedagogical recommendation to integrate gamification into a rural indigenous school and theoretical framework. Constructive approach allows learning to experience collaboration and cultural identify. Students support the use of game to enhance memory, confidence, pronunciation, and engagement. Methodology. The methodology behind this project is based on linking play with learning and from this generating mindful learning in English rather than focusing solely on the traditional structures of verb tense. A mixed method approach with quality emphasis, quality tools, interviews, observation, file digest, and quality tools, diagnostic and finally vocabulary tests, Likert scale surveys, participants 24/6 grade students from Sicuani and Piapoco communities, and triangulation ensure validity and reliability of findings. Data analysis. The following data analysis is based on what is expected from the scope of the project. Quality findings capture emotion, participated, and cultural dynamics. Students express a greater comfort speaking English during games. Observation relevant increased confidence, collaboration, and engagement. Quantitative tests showed clear improvements in vocabulary recall, pronunciation, and fluency. Translation combined tests, interviews, and observation to validate the results. And the results are projections because the project has not been implemented in the school. And students showed significant improvement in motivation and participation. Vocabulary retention increased notably between diagnostic and final tests. Gamification activity reduced shyness and encouraged oral expression. Collaborate gains strengthening community bonds and cultural identify. Student report increased self-confidence and willingness to attempt English words. And conclusion and final consideration. Gamification is a transformative learning approach, not just a method. Student learning with joy, movement, and collaboration enabling deeper understanding. playful activities, strengthen cultural identity and inclusion. Future work integrate cultural history, sound, and traditions into gamified lessons. Encourages teacher training in activity methodologies for rural contexts. Annexes the assessment instruments that are expected to be applied with the student and that seek to want the student interested. Summary of annex. The annexes include the key instrument used during the project, diagnostic tests, color word pulses, and awards serve to access initial vocabulary, content, and speed. Self-assessment chart. Students rather the ability to understand, write, and relate the word to images in English. Learning preference survey. Students evaluate different learning methods against where among the most preferred. Thank you, teacher. This project arises from the need to learn English in a different way. The research question is how can gamification improve learning and vocabulary retention among 6th grade students at Los Palomos School, part of the Sicuani and Piapoco indigenous communities?